Hopefully this works. I'm gonna have to watch the chat too. Jonas, what's up? Should turn on the light. Hold on. That'll look a little bit better. Hopefully you guys can hear me. What's up? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me well? He's very close. Very close. Wish that I could just follow this here. Okay. So you're good. Perfect. Perfect. Want to be able to get some people in here and chat, because there's a lot of opinions out there right now about Nylander right now. We're gonna go through Cap Friendly today. We're gonna do a little bit of an exercise, because I want some people to understand. The Leafs cap situation without listening to Twitter, because there's a lot of misconception. A lot of misconception. So we're going to go through it. We're going to look at the potential Nylander contract. And then we're going to look at their cap situation for next season. Then we're going to look for their cap situation the season after. And we're going to realize that some people are acting a little bit silly when it comes to what's actually going on. So hopefully you guys will enjoy. Hopefully everybody's good today. Make sure if you're here to click the like button. Try to help me get to 14,000 subscribers. I'm very close. I did hit it recently, and then I wasn't making content for a little bit, and then a bunch of people unsubscribed. So that's always good. But yeah. Terry 3Gs. What's good? Hearing Tanev or Robertson in a third. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to cost more than that. Plus, the Leafs need to clear out a little bit of cap space for that. Yeah, I love doing live streams. It's just, I don't always have the time, right? The issue is, guys, is like I think I've mentioned to you guys before. I work 3 jobs. One of them is this, creating content, but I also have 2 other jobs, right? So one of them I work full time. The other one is on weekends, so I don't have any time off. So it's very difficult to be able to do this all the time. Also, yeah, the beard. Is this a thing? Should this stay? I don't know. I'm trying to fill it in. Trying to fill it in a little bit here. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I also just started going back to the gym again. My arms are killing me. So things have been a little bit crazy. So, I figure we might as well get into this a little bit. the Nylander contract is getting a lot of people very upset. It's turning some people a little bit crazy. And I don't think that people should be going as nuts as they are. And it's very it's a little nuts. Let's just put it that way, right? So the biggest thing that people are worried about is how they're gonna be able to save money, and how are they gonna ice a team? And at first I had pre-made a roster, right? But now I think I want to redo it. So I'm gonna redo it. You guys are gonna see my screen very soon. We're gonna be doing a cap friendly together. We're gonna be doing it at the same time, so that way you guys can see, right? So the way I want to do this is I'm gonna move. Nope, not that one. See, this is where it's gonna get a little bit nuts. This is the one that I want to shrink, not this one. Move this down a little bit. Okay, so you guys are going to start to see some stuff happening on my screen. I want to do this so that way you guys can see me and you can see the cap friendly at the same time. So, hold on a second. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. There's quite a big delay. Okay. So we're going to be doing the 24-25 season, because that's the season that we want to deal with here. Okay, I think I'm going to pull up the YouTube chat on my phone so it's easier for me to see. Hold on a second. There we go. I'm going to do it that way. So, the salary cap for the 24-25 season is rumored to be $87.5 million. That's the increase that people down to the bottom left. That's what you think? Like this? I think that's good there. Okay. Salary cap. So as you guys can see, 24-25 season, because people are all worried about next season, right? So $87.5 million the cap's supposed to go up to, right? So as you can see here now, without Nylander's extension, and again, we'll get to all these holes, they have over $30 million in cap space, okay? There's a lot of holes here. But first of all, slide Joseph Woll in there. That doesn't change any cap because he was just on the injured reserve, right? Now, Ryan Reeves is interesting. I think that there's a chance they trade him, but we don't have to talk about that right away. We can get to that in a little bit. But if the rumored deal is William Nylander's $11.5 million, which, let's go to Toronto Maple Leafs here. If the rumored deal is 11.5, the easiest way to do this, actually, no, this is easier. Just do a little copy and paste action, but we're going to sign Willie the Kid. So, okay. Let's go 8 years. So, now with Willie's deal will take them to $21 million in cap space, right? So this is where things get interesting, right? So you still have Matthew Nyes, you still have Matthews, you still have Marner. So that's your top line. And this is just us assuming that the Leafs are going to hold on to Marner as well, which obviously would help the cap space, right? So you want to keep Bertuzzi and Domi. People are saying that, but let's look at the options first internally, right? So does Fraser Minton make the jump? I think there's a possibility. Now, I'm not sure if they want him to play center, if they want him to play left wing, or what they want to do, but I can see them attempting to utilize Fraser Minton, which would give them $20 million, right? So, no, and we're not doing Marner's contract because this is just next season. We'll do the following season after that if you'd want to as well, but I'm just showing you guys what this season is currently, right? So, or not this season, the 24-25 season, okay? So you guys want to keep Domi and Bertuzzi, right? So let's be realistic here. How much are you signing Tyler Bertuzzi for? How much, right? Because as much as I like Tyler Bertuzzi, I'm not going to sit here and act like Tyler Bertuzzi has been playing amazing. He's been good, but if he wants to stay longer, how much money do you think he makes? 6? Oh my goodness, I think it's way lower than that. You think 5.5? I think it's lower. Like, see, this is what I find hilarious, right? So let's look this up. Like, here's the reason why I'm saying this, right? So he's making $5.5 million right now. Let's look at his points. 18 points in 37 games played. So some team is going to offer him 5.5. Then the Leafs can't do that because that's too much money. It's too much. Like, this is what I find funny, and I'm not blaming you guys for this, but I'm saying, like, William Nylander right now, and I had this last night, so actually they need to update this. So Nylander has 54 points in 37 games played, and people are worried about paying him an extra $1 million. But Tyler Bertuzzi has 18 points, and we're going to give him almost $6 million. That doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense. So then what does Bertuzzi get? So if you think he gets another $5.5 million deal, the Leafs can still afford that. So let's just go with it, right? So let's say Tyler Bertuzzi. He's at 5.5 right now. How many years? Like, okay, so here's my rebuttal, right? So let's say the Leafs go and do this. They offer him $5 million, but they give him 6 years. A little bit of extra term. I know that sounds crazy, but if you give more years, the term goes down. So do you think that he would accept $5 million over 6 years? Because if that's the case, the Leafs might even be able to go lower. Or people are saying 5 times 3. I don't know. 5 for 5, you think? I mean, I don't really know. Like, 5 or 6 years to me seems probably okay. So let's just hypothetically say that, because you guys got to remember too, Bertuzzi this offseason wasn't getting the deals that he wanted to get. That's why he chose to go to Toronto in almost like a prove yourself, right? Because teams weren't offering him the term that he thought he was going to get because he's had a lot of injury problems. So we're going to trade William Nylander. So the Leafs would not be in a playoff spot right now if they traded William Nylander. Like, the Leafs have been a very middle of the pack team this year. For the sake of it, we're signing Bertuzzi. 5 years, $5 million. So the Leafs still have 2 extra spots here, and they have 3 spots here that they have to fill. See, I don't want to pay him $5 million either, but I'm overpaying to show you guys this. So what about Max Domi? What about Max? He's making $3 million right now, and he's actually been pretty good. What do you think Max Domi gets? Because I'm wondering if the Leafs give him a little bit of an extra little raise. at 4 mil. You think even less. So why don't we give him a little bit of a raise? Why don't we have Bertuzzi, or why don't we have Domi at 3.5? 3.5 for 4 years. See, I would give him a little bit more term to make the money less. So if you give him 4 years at 3.5, I think that probably works. I don't think Domi and Bertuzzi are pretty equal. Like, Bertuzzi does other things that Domi doesn't. We'll give him 3.5. And I'm not sure if they would want him to play center, but we'll see. Let's just, for the sake of this, do this. So, $11 million. Now, I would imagine the Leafs are also going to explore a David Kampf trade, but this spot, I think the Leafs will fill with like a cheap forward. Like, I'm almost wondering if they try to bring back Noah Gregor because he's been really good. But again, that's... Let me see. So let's go to the Leafs RFAs, right? Noah Gregor is a restricted free agent. I would give him an upgrade. Like, I would give him a little increase. Like, Noah Gregor's been good. Like, do you give Noah Gregor a quick, like, 1.4 million over 2 years? Or less? Like, maybe, like, what? I think 1.4 is not even that bad. I would, maybe, like, 1.2. Like, 1.2 over 2 years seems fine. 1 million? Okay, people are saying 1. So let's give him a $1 million, maybe another 1 year deal. I think it's fair to just give him, like, that cap going up. I feel like 1.2 over 2 years because you're buying an extra year. I think that's fair. Like, I feel like that's fair. Now, mind you, I still think they're slightly overpaying Tyler Bertuzzi at $5 million. I actually think they could get him cheaper than that. But that locks up your forward group, okay, for now. And this is to say, like, who's to say the Leafs don't trade David Kampf and maybe not even sign Tyler Bertuzzi, get a cheaper fourth-line player, and sign a bigger name second-line player, which is very possible, right? The blue line and goaltending is obviously where you need to go next. Now, the other thing is that I think the Leafs should explore trading Ryan Reeves. Okay? I know people are going to not agree with that. The reason I'm putting him on LTIR is because then his cap space, or his cap, comes off of the books. Yeah, Bert's making more than $5 million this season, but I think if the Leafs were to offer him more years, that number will come down. That's why I'm saying you could easily give Bertuzzi 5 or 6 years, or hell, even 7, and get that number even under $5 million, because players have done that before. Okay, so I think Benoit has done enough to get himself at least a number 6 or 7 contract, right? I'm not giving Benoit more than like $1.2 million over 2 years. I don't think 1.4 is too high. Nobody is paying him that much. Nobody. You guys got to remember, Benoit literally was like, the Ducks didn't even give him a chance. So it's like 1.2 million is probably realistic, and you give him 2 years. You give him that little bit of extra term. I think you give him that extra little bit. The reason I'm not saying 1 million for a lot of these players is because when the cap goes up, you have to give them a little bit more, because that percentage is going to go up a little bit. No, you don't. It's not. They still have $10 million. So, and I also don't think the Leafs are keeping Connor Timmins. So you basically can trade him also. So there's your cap space right back. So you need to sign 3 guys over here. Lagesson, I don't think they're going to hold on to unless it's like a cheaper deal. Now, here's the other factor into this. Are the Leafs going to give Topi Niemela a chance on this bottom pairing? They're really high on him. Do you think Niemela gets a shot? Do you guys think Niemela gets a shot? They're really high on this. The reason I'm not signing Robertson yet is because I don't know if people like think he's going to stay or not. Let's see the other defenseman. Timothy Liljegren. What's his extension looking like? You think Liljegren's getting 2 million? Do you think the Leafs give him a little bit of a bump? 2.5 over 2 years? 2.5? Yeah, I think so. Maybe 3 years. Yeah, let's go 3. Okay. You guys don't think Niemela? We'll see. So the Leafs still have $8 million. So you could re-sign TJ Brody. Now, mind you, this is without them even looking at the free agent market. We're just going by what they have. Also, Bobby McMann. Bobby McMann as a forward, he might even sneak in there too, right? Giordano's probably retiring. See, TJ Brody, I don't mind him coming back on a cheap deal. I know people are saying Brody's slowing down, but like, he's kind of better than a lot of the guys we have. You can't go with Benoit and Niemela. So, hypothetically, right? Let's look at what the UFA defensemen are going to look like next year. There's a lot of guys you can fill in your lineup here. Lots. Dylan DeMello, right? There's a lot of guys here. Holy. Like, there's a ton. There's a ton of guys here, right? All I'm trying to prove is that the Maple Leafs have options. Let's go by points, just for the heck of it. Okay, not... Why is it doing this? There we go. Brett Pesce? I don't think he's going anywhere. Man, he would be nice. Noah Hannafin, he's getting a big contract, though. Tyler Myers, no shot. DeMello's an interesting one. I really like him. Now, here's another thing. You see this name right there? See that guy right there, Chris Tanev? Let's just say it. How much do you give Chris Tanev? How much do you sign Chris Tanev for? How much do you sign Chris Tanev for? 3 years? I think Tanev gets $4.5 million. Yeah, I think he still gets $4 million. I can't see him getting less than $4 million. I think Gio's gonna retire. I think $4 million for 3 years for Tanev. You're basically just replacing TJ Brody. So realistically, this top 4 I'm definitely okay with. Riley, Tanev, McCabe, Liljegren. The bottom pairing is what I'm not so concerned about, because the Leafs could just add in another cheaper defenseman to play as their number 6 guy, like a physical guy. You guys are saying he's too old. Chris Tanev still does a lot of really good things. You still have to ice a good team for next season. He's not too old. Tanev has played very well. I'm not signing Jones. I don't think Jones is going to be a Leaf next season, to be honest. Maybe as a third guy, but like, let's go by save percentage right now, right? There's a lot of goalies here that you could bring in that could play with Joseph Woll next season. I'm wondering Capo Kakinen would be an interesting one. He's not having a good season, but that means they could get him a little bit cheaper. Spencer Martin not having a good year. Jones is good right now, guys, but I'm telling you right now, like Martin Jones, if he plays more than 30 games, is not going to give you anywhere close to what he's doing right now. Okay, so just for the sake of it, everybody likes Jones. Everybody likes Jones. So just to keep you guys happy, let's sign Martin Jones. Let's give Martin Jones a nice little increase for 1 year. Martin Jones. Okay, Jones playing on a bad team last year doesn't mean he was like good, because he really wasn't. Okay, just to show you guys, just because I want to. Like, we're going to look at, hold on. We're going to look at Martin Jones over his career, right? I'm just going to show you guys something. So, Martin Jones, like, since 1920, has not been good. Like, even when he played for Seattle, like, those aren't really good numbers. Like, these are not good numbers anywhere. The last decent season he had was in the 17-18 season. And because, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but, like, yeah, it does matter, because Jones hasn't been good in a really long time. And as you can see, he's only played 11 games. When he plays more than 20, 25 games, he starts to get a lot worse. Yeah, it actually does matter, because what I'm telling you guys, it's not about being in front of a good team. Those Sharks teams that he was playing in front of years ago, where he was putting up these numbers, were not bad teams. Like, they won 20 playoff games that year, and his numbers were not good. He's not our only hope. The Leafs have plenty of goalie options. But if it makes you guys happy, the Leafs can also still sign Martin Jones if they wanted to. The Leafs could sign a veteran backup next season easily. Like, there's tons of them that have better numbers than Jones over their career. Like, even Cam Talbot at 36 years old, I would rather take a shot at him, because he's actually playing really damn good. Yeah, they won. He played in 20 playoff games. But regardless, this is my point of this whole thing, is not even to show you guys that Martin Jones, whatever. This is the Leafs icing a team with cap space to spare, and that's with Nylander's new contract. And then the following season, they have like $60 million in cap space. So the Leafs could realistically trade David Kampf and have $4 million and upgrade somewhere else. So Hildeby can go down to the minors, and you have almost $4 million in cap space. So when people are saying to me that the Leafs signing Nylander is putting them in cap hell, I don't really see those problems. So where is the panic here? Kampf doesn't make $4 million. Kampf makes 2.4. Easton Cowan's not making this team. I think Easton Cowan's a couple years away. So everybody freaking out. People need to stop freaking out. Now, here's my other here's my other discussion, right? People are upset with Nylander making 11.5. How much do you guys realistically think that Nylander makes if he goes to the open market? How much as a free agent does Nylander make on the open market? Let's say he's available on July 1st. How much money does he make? How much is his average annual value on the open market? It's not $10 million. I can tell you that right now. It's not $10 million. So, rival GMs were saying that he will make 12. They're saying that rival GM said that he would be offered $12 million on the open market. Yeah, like the Leafs are going to get Nylander at 11.5. Now, mind you, Nylander's camp wanted to sign at 10 at the beginning of this season, and the Leafs thought that that was too much money. So, yeah, you don't think the Chicago Blackhawks wouldn't throw 12.5 at Nylander to play with Bedard? Of course they would. They have all the money in the world. That team sucks. There was an article put out when the Leafs were offering Nylander 9 point, I think it was 9.5 because they were asking for 10. And rival GMs were saying that on the open market that he could fetch close to $12 million. And then that was before he started the season out this good. Right? So Willie wanted $10 million. The Leafs said that's too much. Now they're about to sign him to over $11 million. So, first of all, whose fault is that? And people are still finding a way to blame Kyle Dubas, and he's gone. So I'm just telling you guys once again, be careful what you wish for. Because Dubas probably would have signed Willie before this season started. Guaranteed. Yeah, Willie deserves absolutely no blame here. That's very correct. Well, the going rate for wingers that score as many points as Nylander is going to be 12 plus. Like, here's the other thing that people need to understand is you're not just paying for him next season. You're buying all of his unrestricted free agent years for the next 7 years. So when the cap goes up, because it's going up 87 next season, and then the following season after that it goes to 92, and then after that it's going to go to 95. In like 5 years, the cap's going to be over $100 million. This Willie contract is going to look like nothing come that time, right? So it's like, don't be surprised, guys, when Marner gets $12 million. Like, it's going to be 12. The cap goes up, players and their agents look for more of the cap. They look for more percentage. Hold on. It's true. Like, I would bet any money that Marner gets 12 million. Like, I'll delete my channel if he gets less than $12 million. He's getting more than 12. It's guaranteed. When the cap goes up, the players ask for more money. Like, people need to understand that, first of all, Mitch Marner's dad is heavily involved in these negotiations. You think that Nylander's dad is bad? Marner's father is worse. He is, and listen, I've heard this from sources that I trust, people that I know who know people, and they said that Marner's father is like, he's involved in everything, and it's crazy how involved he is in these negotiations. I mean, his father's Twitter account got like found like a couple years ago when he was like tweeting bad things about the other players on the team. But Marner is 100% getting $12 million. Now, like, look, when McDavid's a free agent, he's getting like 17 million. Like, these guys are going to start to get paid big time. So, yeah, I don't know. My whole thing here is that people need to like relax before they go on their like Twitter rants, saying that Willie sucks and that he's not worth the $11.5 million. And just remember, the Maple Leafs had an opportunity to sign Willie at probably 10 and a half, and now they're paying an extra $1 million per year because they decided to wait. Yeah, and no, Marner's getting 12, like, book it, like it's happening. He's making 11 right now, 10.9. He's virtually making $11 million. If you don't think he's getting $1 million increase on his AAV, you're absolutely crazy. He's getting 12, no problem. Nylander went from 6.9 million to 11.5. He's gonna get, who isn't worth 11.5? Willie's gonna get that much, no problem. Yeah, I think Marner gets over 12, guaranteed. Nah, it's pretty much a guarantee. They're saying Nylander's signing probably tomorrow. The number that I kept hearing, but again, listen, I don't claim to have amazing sources, but I do have some people that are pretty well known. I talked to a couple people and they were saying they thought Nylander's deal was 11.2, but I guess that number might have gone up a little bit. Yeah, and again, when Tavares, he's gonna want to stick around. They're gonna be like, "Look, we'll give you like 6 million. You either stay or you don't," and that's in a couple of years. Now, mind you, I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but in a couple of years, when McDavid is a free agent, I expect the Leafs to see if they have the money to get him, and that's because Marner and Tavares will be free agents, and if they feel like they want to go out there and make a move, if they get McDavid, they're not going to sign Marner or Tavares. Okay? You're saying Timmins is an AHL player. Well, Timmins isn't even on this roster. Like, I think it's people are crazy, like thinking Leaf fans are crazy. To talk about McDavid, but dude, like McDavid has had his up and downs in Edmonton, man. Now, mind you, um, this team, I'm not saying this is what the team looks like. I'm just saying you can ice. People are like, oh, they can't ice a good team. This team is still a playoff team. And you still have 4 million. Like, I expect the Leafs to not do this here. Like, let's say you don't, oh, Jesus. Let's say you don't think Niemela's ready yet, which entirely possible. You could get another $4 million defenseman easily, and it makes this blue line so much better. Like, the Leafs have will have money to play with. It's not like they're going to be screwed. And some people are like, oh, maybe Easton Cowan will make this team. If that's the case, they should look to trade David Kampf. Because if they did trade David Kampf, then you're looking at $7 million to sign another forward and another defenseman. So maybe you get TJ Brody at $2 million, and this team is still pretty damn good. And then you can sign another forward and wherever, right? So they have options. They have the money. And then the following season after this, the cap probably is going up to about 80 or 90 to $92 million, which the Leafs will have more than enough money. It's just I can't with the people that are like, oh, the Leafs are screwed, they have nothing, blah blah blah. Just usually it's like somebody's drunk uncle from Ajax that's on Twitter saying stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about them. Just make your own opinions and just watch it play out, because I can promise you that an NHL GM knows more than us. They have to, right? So there's a reason why they're there and we're here. But if we can figure out the Leafs can ice a team next year with money to spare, then I'm sure that the Leafs are going to figure it out, right? Hello, mate. You're from Australia. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I don't have full faith in the GM. Don't get me wrong. It's just they're acting like, why would they sign Nylander if they can't ice a good team? If they didn't think they could ice a good team next year, then why would they do it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they've done it over and over again. People hated the Nylander contract the first time. They hated the Matthews contract the first time. They hated the Marner contract the first time. And they said that they wouldn't do anything. Now, mind you, I'm not going to sit here and act like the Leafs have been super successful, because they haven't. They've won one playoff round. But we just have to take that for now. Okay? They won a playoff round last year, and they have to improve. If they don't, then they're going to have to clean house. Gregor is the next McDavid. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying the Leafs have done what they're supposed to. Don't get me wrong. It's just, this is more or less this video, or this live stream was basically to show people, like, you have to do your own research first and look into it, because the only thing that's been on Twitter that I've seen is one or two things. The one side is everybody loves this. The other side is that the world is burning down and Nylander's going to torch this Leafs team because of his contract. Like, there's no in between, right? See, Duke, this is the thing. The Leafs are not worried about 5 or 6 years from now. They're worried about 3 to 4 years from now. The window for the Leafs is 4 years, in my opinion. They have these elite players, and they've got some young talent coming up in the next couple of years, like a Nyes, Niemela, Easton Cowan, Fraser Minton. They're utilizing a 4-year window. Years 5 and 6, they're not worried about that right now. They're worried about this 4-year window. And signing Nylander was extending it. So now you've got Nylander and Matthews who are locked up, and that's all they're worried about. They want to win in the next 3 to 4 years with the people they have. These 4 guys on any other team are making $2 million less. I don't believe that at all. Tavares was offered $13 million by multiple teams in free agency, and he took 11 in Toronto. I can't see how Auston Matthews, who is a former 60 goal scorer who basically scores goals in his sleep, gets paid $2 million less than he is now. Like, again, we can't change that, right? If the Leafs are getting this much money and the Leafs are signing it, what are we supposed to do, right? He's there. We can't do anything about it. All I'm trying to show you guys is that they can ice a team. Where do you see Wall in the rankings as a goalie in 2 years? I think Wall is like a middle of the pack goaltender. Like, I know a lot of people in this wanted me to keep Martin Jones around. I think the Leafs need a better veteran goaltender that will cost them a little bit more money because they could do it. I don't necessarily think Joseph Woll is a number one for the next few years. I hate to say it, and I'm going to knock on wood, and I'm going to hope I'm wrong. I really like Joseph Woll, but Leaf fans have done this so many times before where it's a shiny new toy, and then as soon as they find his flaws, they kick him to the curb. So the Leafs have had this revolving door of goaltenders. Freddie Anderson was the last goalie that for 3 or 4 years played really well. He gets injured all the time. And I've said this in my videos. People got mad at me for saying he was injury prone. Joseph Woll is injury prone. I'm just like, I'm not wrong. He's already been injured like 3 to 4 times playing pro hockey. It's hard. So the Maple Leafs need another goaltender, in my opinion. If the Leafs can spend a little bit more money here and here, I would be happy. Like, you need a guy that can bump a Tanev and Liljegren down the lineup. You need a guy that can bump a McCabe and a Benoit down the lineup. You need a guy that can bump Woll down. Jake Allen, maybe. I'm not really convinced Jake Allen is the guy I'd be going for. There's some interesting goalies out there that the Leafs should take a flyer on. Well, let me guess. Your favorite defenseman is Benoit. Because Benoit is a good number 7. He's not a top 6 guy, in my opinion. Parayko has not been very good. Like, you guys got to realize, like, as of like last season, Benoit was dropping his stick to throw hits. And if you think I'm joking, like, Benoit used to drop his stick because he wanted to throw a hit. He couldn't control his own stick. I like him. That's why I wanted to keep him around. But the Leafs need more like defensive defensemen, like a Tanev, like a Jake McCabe. They need somebody up at the top here that can do those things. I think Benoit's done a good job, but like, we need better guys than him. Parayko, guys, again, Parayko is not that good. I'm telling you guys right now, Parayko has fallen off quite substantially. But see, Benoit has been a surprise for what? Just the physicality? Because everything else he's not good at. Oh, he's not better than Liljegren. I'm sorry, he's not. Okay, but again, Benoit gets sheltered. They don't put him in tough situations because he can't play in those situations. I like him, don't get me wrong, but we have to be realistic here. I like him, don't get me wrong. He's a number 6. He's not a top 4 or 5 guy. He's a physical guy. He throws a lot of hits. I like that, but he doesn't do anything else. He's sheltered. Vejmelka? Potentially. Liljegren isn't great, but again, he does a lot of things that a guy like Benoit can't do. He's a much better playmaker with the puck. He's a better skater. He kills penalties better than him. He can play on a power play. He's got a better shot. He's not, like, Benoit's not better than Liljegren. Okay, but again, Liljegren being a ghost in the playoffs is because Sheldon Keefe benched him for half the games. You have to get reps. Sanheim, interesting. Lily pad is not too soft. Liljegren throws hits. He's not soft. Liljegren will throw the body. Is he heavier than Benoit? No, but Liljegren does throw hits. Ristolainen, no shot. No shot. That guy is absolutely terrible. Yeah, that's the word. Lily's more versatile for sure. And again, I don't want it to come off like I don't like Benoit. I want to keep him around. I like him. But Liljegren, when he's quiet, means he's playing well. You don't want to hear from Liljegren because you want him to be quiet. That's what you want. But what you guys have to understand too is this is a problem that I don't know if it's the Leafs system or something that they've done before. Liljegren is a offensive defenseman. Then when he was moved to the Marlies and started playing pro hockey, they started wanting to make him an all-around type guy that can play really well defensively. Well, they've done something like this before and it didn't work out, and they've done it many times. They need to let a guy that they draft come in and just play their game. Now, for Liljegren, it's worked well, but I think he's got more of an offensive mindset than a defensive mindset, but he's done both really well. So I got to give him some credit. They've changed his game quite a lot. I don't agree with changing somebody's game. I think you should let them be good at what they're good at, but I think he's adapted pretty well. Yeah, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. There's a lot of you guys in here, and there's only 12 likes on the stream right now. Whether you, agree with me or don't agree with me, I'm just here to chat. Nothing personal. If you guys disagree with me, I hope you do. That's why there's a good discussion. I don't take anything to heart. I think you guys are awesome to come in here and challenge me, and I challenge you. That's the whole point, right? So make sure to like this stream. I'd really appreciate it. Like I said, it does help when you like the stream, right? But yeah, no, I hope you guys challenge me. That's the whole point, right? Like let's challenge each other. That's the whole point. You guys got to tell me that I'm wrong. You got to tell me that I'm right. All this is just to talk hockey. We're all in here for the same reason, right? Like we all love the Leafs. We all want them to win the cup. Nice, there we go. Got some likes, 63 likes, beauty. You seem like a good guy, dude. Well, I appreciate that. You seem like a great one, too. I appreciate it. Yeah, we all just love the Leafs. That's what it is. Mr. Relaxation, attaboy Piluk. Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate everybody coming in here, too. Like, I think I've mentioned it in a couple videos. I do have an opportunity to be a full-time content creator. It's just like without the support, without people watching, obviously that's not possible. So the more that you guys watch and like the videos and stuff, it does help. So I do appreciate that. I mean, they could try to get Hannafin on a longer term deal, but I don't think he's the type of guy that the Leafs want. Like, I do agree with a lot of people in here. They need a physical defensive style guy. I'm not looking for somebody that only throws hits and his main thing is being physical. You can have a Benoit on your bottom pairing for that. I want a guy that will hit but play really sound defensively. Like, people won't give a guy like Jake Muzzin credit, but Jake Muzzin in his prime when he wasn't getting hurt, especially when he came to the Maple Leafs, that guy was dynamite for the Maple Leafs. Like, Brody has been solid. You can say whatever you want. TJ Brody has been so consistent on our blue line. The Leafs need more guys like a Tanev. They need a physical guy that blocks shots and plays really well defensively, and those don't grow on trees. But yeah, like, imagine how much better this team would have been if you had that Jake Muzzin still in the lineup. Like, they would be so much better. So much better. I really do miss Muzzin. I do. I totally agree there. Muzzin was so good for this team. He does not get the credit that he deserves. Yeah, I like McCabe too. I'm glad that McCabe is still on this team. I think McCabe does a really solid role. Him and Benoit have been playing really well off of each other in terms of the physicality. McCabe's getting more comfortable. That's literally it. He's in the system now. He knows how we play, and you can see the physical side. The Leafs are starting to protect the front of their net, which I love. McCabe's a real asshole out front. That's what you need. So I'm happy. I'm very happy with McCabe. I think McCabe for what he does has been good. Yeah, and that's the thing. He hasn't really been on the team for that long, right? So you got to give these guys a chance. You guys like BioSteel? They went bankrupt, but I think somebody bought them. So McCabe has 2 years left, like this season, and then I think he has next season and the season after that potentially. He at least has another year because you could see he's still in the lineup for next season. Yeah, no, McCabe's at 2 million. McCabe's not at 1.8. He's still at 2. Yeah, I do like Gatorade probably the most. Yeah, no, I know Chicago retained half of his deal, but it still was only at like it still was he was left at 2 million. But anyways, the Leafs will have options next season. That's what I wanted to really get at with this. But wow, this thing is not. There is some interesting options. Oh, Zadorov. I forgot he technically is a free agent next year. Okay, so this is a good question. I think everyone has a different perspective on what they view as a needle moving player or defenseman. But if you don't mind me asking, what is your definition of a needle moving type player or D? So I think for me personally, and if we're going by the Leafs, I think they need a guy, and we might as well go defenseman because that's been the chat. Um, I think I think that a needle mover for the Leafs is somebody that can bump everybody down in the lineup, especially in that blue line. They need somebody that can come in and play top 4 minutes. That when he's on the ice is gonna make sure that you're protected out there. He's gonna make sure that no crap is going on out front of the net. Somebody that can play sound defensively. Like I like defensemen that you barely hear from them all game because they're just playing a defensive sound game, right? So I like the fact that like I think a needle mover is a type of guy that you look out there and go, okay, well, Gio's out there or Brody's out there or Tanev's out there. You don't have to really worry about them. They're just gonna get the job done, right? So there's also another good question here. Remember when we traded Sandin for Gustafson? I think the Leafs, when they did that, were trying to flip the first round pick that they got for Sandin, and they didn't get what they wanted. I don't think that they got another defenseman because if it was what I was thinking was is I thought the Leafs were going to go out there and try to acquire another defenseman. Yeah, I don't think Brett Pesci is going to go anywhere. But if we're just going by free agency, the Leafs could sign a few guys from here. Like a Brendan Smith, that's a hard-nosed guy that you could throw at the bottom. A Labushkin, you can throw him at the bottom of your lineup. I wouldn't, but again, he's an option. Um, let's see. Like there's a lot of guys here that the Leafs could sign next season. Just if you want guys that are going to play towards the bottom, that are physical and stuff like that. There's some options. I like DeMello. I really do like DeMello. Forsling, another very interesting name. Oh, yeah, Brett Pesce will be a UFA. I just don't think the Leafs can afford him. Like, now, mind you, if the Leafs, like in our hypothetical world here, the Leafs signed Tanev for $4 million. The Leafs could sign Brett Pesce for like 6.5, right? And then that makes them even better. And then you could sign TJ Brody. Like, let's just take a look at that. Like, how much do you think Brett Pesce makes? Like, what does Pesce make? He's gonna make a lot of money. $7+? Yeah, I think it's possible. I think he's gonna make $7 million. Like, look at how much defensemen have been getting paid. I'm gonna say 7, honestly. Like, let's say he gets 7 times 7, right? The Leafs could potentially do that. They would have to sign a pretty cheap defenseman, or they would just bring up like a Niemela. Then you're still compliant, right? Like, that top 4 is decent. That, or you don't sign a guy like Tyler Bertuzzi and you sign a cheaper forward to like $3 million. You can save a couple $1,000,000 and sign somebody else. Well, David Kampf still has a contract for at least 3 more years. So Kampf will be on this team. Kampf's going to be on this team for a few more years unless they trade him. Like, Kampf will be around for a while. I think Pontus Holmberg also will be on this team for a bit. The Leafs organization really likes him. I also like David Kampf. I just think $2.4 million was a lot of money. Like, if they would have signed David Kampf like $1.8 million, I don't think anybody would have cared. But 2.4, that's a pretty big jump. All right, I've been on here for a little bit now. I'm gonna head out. I want to do more of these. Want to do more of these streams. If you haven't already, like this, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Join the team. Love to have you guys here. Also, Manscaped. If you guys want to, if you want to go grab some stuff from there, APH20 is my code on there. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys so much for supporting me here. Like I said, liking and subscribing helps a lot, and it's completely free. Tell your friends. That again, we're all gonna agree, we're gonna disagree, but all at the end of the day, we're all just Leaf fans. We're all just having fun, right? So, yeah. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you, Aiden. Thanks, Paul, Terry, K Dog, Dinner Bells, everybody who's in here. Wustin, yeah, everybody here. There's Daniel there. Thank you guys so much. Patrick, I appreciate you guys. And yeah, be on the lookout. I've recorded another video, and then once Nylander signs officially, I'll probably be making another video then too. So